Let us discuss about photoperiodism. Photo means light. Here certain light period. The plants require certain light period to induce the flowering. Here the photoperiodism effect or the light effect on the flowering, it is firstly here observed by Garner and Allard scientists. Garner and Allard scientists observed the light period or the light effect on the flowering in a tobacco plant or Maryland mammoth variety of Maryland mammoth. Variety of tobacco plant. So it is a Shortday plant. So on this plant, first these scientists observed the light effect on flowering. So the photo period, some plants require a long light period or a day period, and some plants require very short day light period. So the light period, certain light period is required for the induction of flowering. Here the certain light period is called as a critical period or duration. Critical period or critical duration. Here each and every plant or most of the plants require the light for the induction of flowering. Here more or less than a certain light period. So the certain or particular light period is called as a critical period or critical duration. So the day period. So based on the light period, the requirement of day period, here the plants are classified into three types. First one is long day plants. Long day plants. The long day plants are, they require more light period than critical duration. More than critical duration or more than critical period. So here they require long light period. It is a night period. Here day period, daytime, and dark period or night time. So some plants require more light period or day period, and here the light period is here inducing the flowering. So the plants, when they are exposed to more or longer light period or day period, then only the flowering is induced. So this type of plants are observed here in wheat or monocot plants like wheat and here sugar beet, radish. Here some plants these are example for long day plants. So in the long day plants require the long light period or day period. It is it should be more than critical duration. So the light period should be more than critical duration. Suppose if the light is, for example, one plant is, it requires 15 hours light or 12 hours light, for example. Here the 12 hours light, here the critical duration is, for example, the critical duration is here 10 hours. It is critical duration. And when the plant is exposed to light more than 10 hours only, 11 hours, 12 hours, 13 hours light, then only the flowering is induced. But the light period should not be less than the critical duration. If one plant is exposed to, this plant is exposed to less than critical duration. So one plant is exposed to continuously for some time or some days. Here it is exposed to 9 hours light. 9 hours light. So here no flowering occurs. Why? Because the critical duration is 10 hours. So the 10 hours light is compulsory. The light period should be more than critical duration. So the critical duration, it is compulsory required light period. So the light period should be more than critical duration. If it is less than critical duration, here the no flowering occurs. No flowering. The same plant, here one more plant of the same species. It is exposed to 11 hours light for 1 month or for some time. Here the flowering occurs. So not only single day, here the plant continuously for some days, for some weeks, or here for 1 month or 2 months, when it is exposed continuously, here 9 hours light, here the critical duration is 10 hours, but here the plant is exposed to 9 hours light only. It is followed by dark time or night time. So no flowering occurs. And the same species of another plant. So when it is exposed to 11 hours light, so here the flowering is initiated. So the flowering occurs. Here the time, light period, it is important, the critical duration. So that's why in long day plants, light period, the plant is exposed to light, the light period should be more than critical duration. So when it is less than critical duration, no flowering occurs. When it is more than critical duration, 11 hours, 12 hours, 13 hours, 14 hours, so the flowering occurs. But it should not be less than critical duration. So it is about long day plants. In long day plants, examples: wheat, sugar beet, radish. Next type of plants, short day plants. Short day plants are here, they require a short light period, or the light period should be less than critical duration. It is night time, it is daytime. The plants require here the day period should be here less than critical duration. Here the light period, it should be less than critical duration. For example, one plant, its critical duration, it is one plant. So this plant requires your critical duration is here 10 hours. Here also, for example, 10 hours. Critical duration is 10 hours. Here when the plant is exposed to light, here 9 hours light or 9 hours light, here the flowering is here initiated. So the flowering is initiated. So flowering occurs. And next, the same species of another plant. One more plant. So when it is exposed to here 12 hours light, 12 hours light, here no flowering occurs. Completely opposite to the long day plant. Here the short day plants also require some light period or day period. So when the plant is exposed to light only, the flowering occurs or initiated. But the light period, it should be less than critical duration. So certain light period, but the light period should be less than critical duration only. It should not exceed than this critical duration. When the plant is exposed to more than critical duration, when it is exposed to light more than critical duration, here no flowering occurs. So here this plant is exposed to light 9 hours. For 9 hours it is exposed. So the 9 hours is less than critical duration. Here the critical duration is for this species, critical duration is 10 hours, but it is exposed 9 hours. So So the flowering is initiated. And here another plant of the same species, it is exposed to 12 hours light more than critical duration. Here when it is exposed to 12 hours light, here no flowering occurs. Here the light period, the required light period, it should be less than critical duration. When it is exceeding the critical duration, here no flowering occurs. So here the day period and night period is also critical. Here the daytime and night time, so both are important, both are critical, both are showing the influence on the flowering. Here the light period should be less than critical duration. For example, here this plant, it is exposed to 8 hours light, flowering occurs. 7 hours light, here the 7 hours light, then also flowering occurs. 6 hours light, flowering occurs. So that is less than the critical duration. 10 hours, 10 hours is the critical duration. When it is when the light period is less than the critical duration, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, here the flowering occurs. But if the light period is exceeding the critical duration, 11 hours, 12 hours, 13 hours, so no flowering occurs. So these require, the short day plants require light period, the light period should be less than the critical duration. So it is a short day plant. Short day plants are also called as here long night plants. Long night plants. Long day plants are also called as short night plants. So this type of short day plants examples, here soybean and here tobacco. These are the examples for short day plants. Next one is a third type of plants, day neutral plants. Here day neutral plant means here no flowering, here the flowering is not influenced by the day neutral plants. On the day neutral plants, on flowering, here there is no influence of light period or dark period. So that's why they are called as day neutral plants. Long day plants are also called as short day plants, are also called as long night plants. And next here day neutral plants. So here if you observe here, the long day plants require the day period, it should be more than the critical duration. Here short day plants require light period, it should be less than the critical duration. And here in day neutral plants, here the no influence of light on flowering. How the flowering is initiated or induced by the light. Here the light inducing part, the light inducing part is not bud or not inflorescence axis. Light perceiving part, it is leaf. The leaves are perceiving the light, and after the absorbing the light, here it is inside the leaf some hormone is produced. So that hormone is nothing but here florigen hormone. Florigen hormone is when the light is here absorbed by the leaf. Here in this leaf the florigen hormone, one hormone is produced. So the light perceiving parts or organs are here leaves only, not here floral buds or inflorescence axis, or not the apical portion. So here the florigen hormone is produced here and it is transported to the here shoot apex or in the inflorescence axis. Here the florigen hormone is inducing the flowering. Here the flowering is taking place, the bud formation or flowering. So that's why here it is very important, the light perceiving parts are here leaves only. Inside the leaves only the florigen one hormone is produced, flower inducing hormone. It is transported from the leaf to here shoot apex or buds or inflorescence axis. There it is inducing the flowering. So it is about here photoperiodism. So the first based on the required light period, the plants are classified into three types: long day plants, short day plants, and day neutral plants. And light perceiving parts are here leaves only. So it is about photoperiodism.